Cat Williams has been dropping hints for years, and now it's like the world is finally catching up. Way before court files ever hit the public, he was calling out Hollywood heavyweights and saying the truth was hiding in plain sight. Fast forward, and the Epstein documents have gone public. Suddenly, Cat's warnings aren't just credible, they feel prescient. On Club Shay Shay, he didn't just crack jokes, he cracked open conversations Hollywood didn't want us having. He hinted that it wasn't just politicians tangled in shady dealings, famous names were too.
That's the battle that's going on, is people who profit from the manipulation of others by getting you to believe something that's not the case. And that's how they make their living. And it is now a difficult time for those entities.
Back then, folks laughed it off or dismissed him as bitter. But with court documents and flight logs surfacing, denial is harder than ever. When the Epstein files dropped, fans scrambled to shield their favorite stars. The reaction? Electric. Jay-Z's name lit up social media like wildfire.
You take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living our people, so how the they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, Beyonce had the best fit for somebody else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth, they'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars.
Yeah.
Liars are now the face of our culture.
An anonymous accuser mentioned him, and supporters went ballistic. They argued the timing was off. He was just breaking through in the mid-90s and couldn't have had access. But fame and connections aren't the same. Early on, Jay-Z was already moving in powerful circles. Old footage resurfaced, showing him rubbing elbows with figures like Harvey Weinstein, moments that now look awkwardly orchestrated. For many, revisiting those clips raises new questions.
In your thoughts on Donald Trump and what it means for what it means for mass incarceration?
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're here to talk about that and nothing else.
Then can I ask about mass incarceration? Do you think the movement is...
Then old photos and videos started circulating again. Jay-Z at high-profile parties, sometimes alongside controversial names. At the time, Kanye's remarks were mostly shrugged off, but replayed today, they hit differently. And it didn't stop there. Other celebrities named in the files are facing renewed scrutiny. Naomi Campbell pops up in flight logs multiple times in the early 2000s. She says she had no clue about Epstein's crimes and stands with the victims, but past emails and footage have fans questioning just how much she really knew and whether she was involved in recruiting models under the guise of career opportunities.
I'm still shocked that there's nothing about Naomi.
Oh, wait.
I keep telling everybody, she the Ghislaine.
Man.
I'm still trying to figure out how she pulled that off. Where she was able to get a white woman to go to jail for.
Bill Gates isn't off the hook either. Years ago, he admitted on TV that spending time with Epstein was a mistake, calling it a few casual dinners. But the documents suggest a deeper link, repeated contact, connections far beyond what he's described. Soon after, his marriage ended, with Melinda Gates openly sharing how unsettling Epstein's influence was. Bill recently apologized, but skepticism is high.
It's foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him. No, apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. It just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that. It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Chris Tucker's name also appears in flight logs from the early 2000s. Listing alone isn't proof of wrongdoing, but seeing so many familiar faces together makes one thing clear. This was a massive network, not just one circle or industry. Chris and his team rushed into damage control, claiming the flight was a humanitarian trip to Africa, focused on charity and AIDS awareness.
You knew Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We flew Bill Clinton and a lot of different, that was a humanitarian trip to Africa.
Yeah.
And I met him on that trip because it was his plane. I didn't know who plane we was getting on, but it was a whole bunch of dignitary people. We was with a delegation. And yeah, I met him and you don't know people, what they do in their private lives. So, yeah.
But yeah, tell me this, Chris. You was on this private plane. And you could tell that it was a private plane because they called it, was it Lolita Express?
Oh yeah, it was a private plane. Yes. Oh yes.
But wait a minute. You didn't never go to that island, did you?
No. I don't know where that thing at. No. I don't. Hey, we was going to Africa to save lives.
They said Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey were on the same trip, making it official and innocent, but hardly anyone bought it. Williams ever mentioned knowing Trump, Spacey, or Leonardo DiCaprio? Did he share stories about these circles?
He would tell me things like I knew when he flew Clinton to Africa, which is what first put him on the map. He told me he went to Africa. He took Spacey, Chris Tucker. He would mention people's names that he was with, but he wouldn't tell me much about them themselves. Mm-hmm. But, he would tell me he was with so-and-so.
Mentioning Bill Clinton only intensified scrutiny. Photos of Clinton in Epstein's mansion show him way too comfortable for someone supposedly unaware. That ease says more than words. Chris was in the same orbit, yet claims total ignorance. Tough sell. Just when it seemed Kat had spoken enough, Jaguar Wright jumped in, adding her perspective on music industry power dynamics. She explained her issues with Jay-Z weren't one-off. They unfolded over years.
Adjacent to or, traveling in the same circles as the person that's been selected to be this icon. Because let's just be very clear. He was selected, just like Diddy was selected. Question is by who? Now, for many years, I minded my business about a lot of things, but a lot of things came to me. I heard a lot of things. You gotta remember, this was back when I was still trying to be amicable with the industry so that I could have my career. So that I could have my life, right? Everything that I worked for, everything that I sacrificed. Up until things, a lot of things. It wasn't until I couldn't ignore it anymore because I realized this ain't going nowhere. And then when I started seeing exactly how dangerous things have become, it was very simple. It's either you're gonna speak up or they're gonna keep getting away with it, or you're gonna get handled up on regardless because you're not playing along the way you should be playing along. Like that's how this works. Like the people that get rewarded are the people that keep the secrets, the people that are quiet, and the people that lie for them. The people who get a pass are the people who pretend that like they don't know what's going on. And then the people that speak up are the people that, get persecuted, get framed, get trashed, are forced to go broke, that kind of shit. So yeah, I cannot say that it was an overnight process. I was hoping. See, I was always so quick to just blame, all of the harm and the terrible shit in the industry on Diddy, I wasn't really willing to accept the fact that they were working together.
Jaguar said honesty wasn't rewarded in the industry. Silence was. Those who spoke up were punished. Those who played along thrived. At first, she blamed Diddy, but over time realized the system was bigger, more interconnected than she wanted to admit. Past interviews and footage made her skeptical of claims that top figures never collaborated.
So, Jag, with Jay-Z in his situation, as far as the early Jay-Z, you see him with Aaliyah Young, of course, goes to Dame Dash next. You see him with Foxy Brown. You see the maturation of Beyonce and him getting with Beyonce. You see Rihanna at a young age, suppressed.
Yeah. Come on, man. I think we're speaking about this from a place where we're trying to make it seem like things are fair and people are just and people are decent. And rather than looking at it for what it is, the one thing that all of these files and all of these documents, and let's just be clear, we're talking about 3 million documents that have been released. People. You know, it's going to take people quite some time to get through all of these files, and who knows how long they're going to be available. Stuff might start go missing, things of that nature. But we all should be going through and combing through every inch of everything that's going on, because when they put that much out there, they're hoping you're going to just overlook something. They're hoping you're going to get fatigued from all of the information, and you're not. We got to keep looking. Like, we have like 4 people around us that are every day combing through a bit. We combing through a bit, and you got to sit down and you got to take your time and look at it. What these files prove is that there are no rules, is that nothing has ever been fair. It's been being covered up. Like, that's the point.
She highlighted denial as comfortable, pointing out media voices downplaying Epstein files. Names being mentioned doesn't mean anything, or it's just a tip line. Jaguar wasn't buying it. Her point, if names are tied to Epstein, it alone demands questions, not excuses. When asked about the DOJ, she didn't mince words. Why were these files hidden so long? The Epstein Files Transparency Act only forced disclosure in mid-2025, though prior administrations had chances. For Jaguar, this isn't politics, it's power.
Trump administration, don't forget the Biden administration had the ability to release these files as well, and they didn't either.
True.
So this isn't a political thing. Let's stop making it political. I think everyone wants to make it political. Oh, look at the politicians, and this isn't about the rappers, and this isn't about this, and this is about the politicians. No, it's not. No, it's not, because you got Democrats and Republicans equally aligned up in this whole foolishness. This is about a certain class of people in this country that have been doing all kinds of shit. And it really doesn't matter what your religious background is, what your social standing is, or what your political standing is. It really doesn't matter. This is not about them versus us, or no. This is about the weirdos and then the normal people. And not even normal people, just decent people. The problem is that the weirdos are outnumbering, it's looking like, the decent people, 10-1. Like, does anybody get that? Like, the simple fact that nobody is holding TMZ into account for anything, and they've been mentioned in these files. Harvey Levin specifically.
Elon Musk got dragged back into the headlines too. He claimed he never went to Epstein's island, but 2012 emails suggest otherwise, coordinating possible visits, asking when the wildest party would happen. While it's unclear if he actually went, the correspondence fuels scrutiny. Trump's cabinet secretary, Howard Lutnick, also appears in emails, scheduling meetings and drinks years after claiming ties ended.
My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
The drop included a spreadsheet of FBI complaints listing Trump, Clinton, and others, though notes said some tips weren't credible. Both former presidents denied wrongdoing. Woody Allen's name appears repeatedly, with Epstein arranging dinners and film introductions. Cat Williams also called out public figures who project one image yet skirt consequences, comparing it to chess. Pawns move, but the player behind the board remains hidden. That contrast alone, he argues, should make people stop and think.
In Hollywood,
when asked if public figures change once they hit big power, Cat didn't hold back. He said, "People don't come out the same after crossing lines they swore they never would. Once that happens, something inside shifts, and no amount of PR or image repair can bring back the old version of them." He explained that offers, pressure, and influence aren't just in entertainment, they're everywhere. People listen, stay quiet, justify things to survive. Even Cat admitted he was shocked seeing firsthand just how much control certain powerful figures wield behind the scenes. Some folks, he said, are so used to getting what they want that the system bends for them automatically. Toward the end, the conversation veered into government agencies and long-standing rumors. Cat didn't dismiss them. He noted that agencies like the FBI or CIA often fly under the radar, quietly documenting, watching, and sometimes waiting decades. His final point hit hard. The only reason these files surface years later is because someone was recording it all along, and that's the part that should make people uneasy. Now, with the files public, celebrities who once felt untouchable are suddenly quiet, defensive, or vanishing from the spotlight. Hollywood is tense, uncomfortable, watching.